All right, folks, you're watching college football now. I am Tom Downey. That is Harrison Graham. Let's update you guys on Chase Young. Saw some of that in the comments section. He is back at practice after missing that game against Maryland. Harrison, what's going on with Young? When is he going to finally get back to Ohio State?
I think that's the question we're trying to figure out. There's been mixed reports. I know Kirk Herbstreit, who's well connected to Ohio State, said initially it'd be a 4-game suspension. That's kind of been not completely disputed, but has not been confirmed.
Some say 4, some say 2. No one knows.
Yeah, then it's like, well, it's going to be down to 1, which means it could already be over. Ryan Day did come out and say that he will practice this week, and they will prepare as if he's going to play.
Not that they need him.
Not that they need him against Rutgers, obviously, but you'd like to have him against Michigan in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You'd like to have him in the Big Ten title game and obviously the playoff there to get there. And you look at what this guy has done.
He was a Heisman contender. You're missing games. That hurts you.
First defensive Heisman candidate since, Manti Te'o and Ndamukong Suh before that. I mean, and to me, I actually think he had a legitimate argument to at least get an invite to New York City to be one of the finalists. If he misses another game, that opportunity is probably gone. Obviously, that's probably not his main focus, but it's still a cool opportunity, and we're kind of in limbo right now when it comes to Chase Young and Ohio State, but they did address it today. Not a ton of new information, but he is practicing, so keep that in mind.
You've also got a 5 a.m. meeting scheduled because you forgot about your Brill Peppers for Heisman, or defense for Heisman.
Was he a finalist, though?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was?
He was, yeah. Now, of course, Ohio State doesn't need Chase Young for Rutgers, but they definitely want him back for Penn State and Michigan. I will make note of this here. I know what the rules are. The rules are stupid. It is hilarious to me that a college kid is in trouble because he took a loan. Last time I checked, lots of college kids take loans when they're in college.
By the way, it was
doesn't make sense.
It was
It's weird.
paid back. It's not like someone threw him $20,000 or something, just to help the kid out.
Paid back before it was leaked, which it just it's allegedly.
It's up in the air.
There, allegedly. Here was Ryan Day's quote. By the way, you mentioned earlier, Harrison, that he expects Chase Young to practice.
Yeah, he said, quote, we're going to prepare him for him to be back this week, and he will practice this week. Once we know more information, we will go from there. Could that mean that they kind of are...
I don't think he plays this week, by the way.
I don't think he'll play against Rutgers, but that quote tells me that, look, if you're practicing and he's getting first-team reps, I think they have a feeling that he will be back and on the field this season sometime. The question is when. That's still up in the air.
All right, forceful here as we get into our live Q&A. Use that hashtag CFP like he did. If OSU wins the playoffs, who do you think Ohio State would beat?
Well, I think LSU is going to be in there. I think Clemson's going to be in there. So a combination of those two teams and someone else.
I would say it's Clemson. In theory, Clemson's your 3. Ohio State beats them.
Who's your 4 right now, by the way? We haven't discussed that
it's Alabama.
tonight.
Now, maybe they cheat the rules or whatever to make sure it's not SEC, but they beat Clemson. They beat LSU 3-1 as the 2 seed. There you go.
There you go. There you have it. Yeah, I mean,
Simple.
I think I want to see Ohio State LSU. I think that's the game everybody wants.
I want that.
I hope that's the national championship.
Yeah. All right, Jake the Loser says, is LSU the best team or is Ohio State better?
I still think Ohio State's the most complete team in the country. I think LSU has the best offense and for sure best passing attack, although I forget the kid's name, but the kid running the ball for LSU, all of a sudden,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, they're finding balance. He's the real deal. He ran all over Alabama. I would give the edge to Ohio State as you compare these teams. The margin of victory is tough to ignore there. Keep in mind, LSU's schedule has been tougher. You could go either way here. I do think Ohio State's defense is the reason I think they are marginally better than LSU.
That margin of victory is insane, by the way.
Oh,
that is absolutely bonkers.
That's absurd.
All right, I'm going to say this is Xenon. It's funnier to say it that way. Do you think Bama should have dropped further?
Absolutely. I think 6 or 7.
They should be behind Minnesota. And I will go to my grave saying that because this is supposed to be resume-based, right? Right?
Yeah.
Minnesota got the better mark. They're better this year.
And it would be something if they had like a couple of ranked wins and you're saying, okay, well, they've beaten 2 top 25 teams. They played LSU close. Minnesota has just the 1 win. Okay, we'll keep it. Bama has no ranked wins. Keep in mind, Texas A&M's not ranked still. They don't have a ranked win.
I guess this is the most fundamental question. Is the CFP's job to put the 4 best teams in or to put the 4 most deserving teams in?
Well, I think more than that.
I think it's deserving.
And I think the problem with that debate, too, is they don't know for an absolute fact who is better. They can say all day long Alabama would beat Minnesota on a neutral field, but unless it happens, you can't say that. Like, we didn't think Penn State was going to lose to Minnesota, and Minnesota kind of kicked their ass. Like, I have a problem with that argument. Minnesota's more deserving. I think they are too low, and I think Alabama's ranked too high.
All right. Zevrick HD wants to know, is SEC bias just a myth? Is it not directly tied into talent like recruiting rankings, which are SEC dominant?
Guys, the college football playoff rankings are not tied into how you recruit. Like, that's not how you evaluate where teams should be ranked. It's all about performance. And Alabama, in their one game this year, got beat. Their one, quality game. I don't think it's a myth. You just saw it. 3 of the top 5 teams are SEC teams. Like, I think that's a little SEC bias.
I would also think that you could make the argument that the recruiting rankings are SEC bias because the recruiting, it's all based on the Southern schools. They recruit the best.
I think that's a fair point as well.
The other SEC schools also that recruit in the top 25 but aren't good at football?
It's hard to say there's not bias at this point. The evidence is overwhelming.
Let us know, though, in the comments, which conference is best. Does it just mean more in the SEC?
It always just
Let us know.
more.
Let us know in the comments section. This year, what do you think has been the best conference, though? 'Cause I have my answer with everything I've just said, by the way.
I think the SEC and the Big
SEC.
Ten are the two
Yeah,
best.
it's those two.
I think it's close, though.
Yeah.
I do think it's close between those two.
I've got some worries about some of the bottoms of both those conferences, but if you want to go top to bottom, Rutgers exists. So.
I'll put it this way. The SEC is not leaps and bounds better than the Big Ten.
That's fair. I agree with that.
It's just not true.
I'm a little surprised, speaking, maybe Indiana could have deserved some top 25.
By the way, Rutgers is horrible. So is Vanderbilt.
That's true. All right, I love food but don't like you. Can USC still be a top 25 team?
Well, Southern Cal is, 6-4 now? They just picked up a big win. South Carolina certainly cannot. They just lost to App State.
I'm going to stop you right there. There's your answer. USC just picked up a big win over Arizona State. That's how far the program has fallen.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
No, and the answer is no.
All right, Red Light wants to know, #CFP. Good job using that hashtag there. National championship predictions.
If you're talking about who's going to win it all, I still have Ohio State at this point.
I will be different. Give me LSU.
I haven't seen anything to change my mind. I do think those are the 2 best teams as we sit here today. I want to see that game. I think everybody else does too. Hopefully we get it in the end, but I will stick with Ohio State for now.
And you guys can bet on college football playoffs and all college football games on BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120. It gets you a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120. Now, Will Bloodworth is a man after my heart, Harrison. Chaos theory for Auburn to get in at number 4. Now, they're number 12 right now. They're 7-2. So step number 1, Florida drops another game.
Yeah.
They're not going to get in over Florida.
That's
now,
gotta happen.
Auburn, I think in reality, has to find a way into the SEC East. Or SEC championship game.
Yeah, I think that's really the only path. And you look at
is almost impossible. They pretty much need LSU to lose out.
Yeah, LSU has to lose to Ole Miss and to Texas A&M. A&M, you never know because they've got talent. They're not losing to Ole Miss. So that's got to happen.
So LSU loses out. That gives them 3 I think it's 3, maybe it's only 2
It's
SEC
2.
losses. Tiebreaker somehow goes to Auburn then, because in theory it would be Alabama also has 2 losses.
Yeah, because you would
maybe you have Bama drop another game just to make it easy.
Well, no, you beat Alabama, which is the second loss.
2-2-2 for everybody.
And then Auburn, they get the highest ranked tiebreaker. I mean,
I'll make it simple. LSU drops a game. Alabama drops another game as well. Auburn still beats them. Georgia looks incredible the rest of the way. Yeah. Auburn blows out Georgia in the SEC title game. So that is your lone SEC bid.
Which means they would beat Georgia twice because they play them this weekend as well.
You probably want Oregon, Utah to both drop a game, one in the college football championship. So there's a 2-loss Pac-12 champion. SEC still ahead of them.
But you want it to be Oregon winning the Pac-12 title game because you beat Oregon. You want
exactly.
Oregon to slip up somewhere but still win the Pac-12 title game. Hey, we beat the Pac-12 champion.
Clemson, I don't think really matters in this scenario. They can win out. That's fine.
I think so.
What you want is Ohio State to blow out Penn State, Minnesota to drop at least 2 games, Baylor, Oklahoma to cannibalize each other so that not only is there limited 0 or 1-loss teams, there's a bunch of 2-loss teams, and Auburn sneaks in. But you have to have somehow LSU losing out. And that's impossible.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. All the other stuff actually doesn't sound as crazy as you
not.
make it sound. But
That's why
LSU,
it's chaos theory.
Here's the problem. LSU can't lose to Ole Miss if they try. Like, Ole Miss is terrible.
All right, Zevrick HD with another great idea. What do you think about an MLB-style wild card game where 4 and 5 have to play to get in? Let's just grow to 8. or 16.
That was the hot take conspiracy theory a couple of years ago when they couldn't decide between Bama and Ohio State because Ohio State was the conference champ, but they had 2 losses, and Bama didn't even win their division but got in. Let's just have them play each other, the winners in the playoff. I mean, that sounds fun, but just expand it, right? Like, I mean, isn't that...
Go to 64.
Yeah.
Like Mike Leach wants.
Go
It's
Mike
awesome.
Leach style,
Yeah.
64-team tournament.
So let us know in the comments if you think the CFP should expand past the 4. Type Y for yes, N for no. I want to see more.
And I also just...
That
I
just
very
means more.
rarely hear good arguments for why it shouldn't expand.
So I was told repeatedly, it reduces the regular season. And I'm like, it actually doesn't.
And
though.
there's always going to be controversy.
Because
Team 9, 10, and 11 are still going to be complaining.
And not only that, like, it actually expands the relevant game pool.
Yeah.
Like, Auburn and Georgia this week, before BCS, wouldn't have mattered.
You know what else
Now
it does?
does.
You know what else it does, too? It eliminates these garbage Week 13 irrelevant Alabama versus Georgia State games. Like, we don't need FCS. Like, I know those games matter to the FCS. They get paid and all that. But you knock off a non-conference game, and every single week is more competitive.
Now,
That's great for college football.
Maybe it reduces some of your higher-end matchups like LSU, Bama. That's probably not as impactful, but you get more volume, less quality.
And I'll
How
also
about
say
that?
this. If you go to 8, you make the quarterfinals the home field. Top 4 teams play at home.
There we go.
Who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah.
Home field advantage in the playoff, that's awesome.